Every time I tried to improve my life, I tried to make drastic changes. So I wouldn't just add small habits. I would try to go from, watching YouTube on a binge 4 hours a day to military level schedule. And I learned that that would never work. The reason why is because you're going to be so inconsistent when you make these drastic changes. You're not going to be able to keep up with it because you're not at that level yet. What I learned was you need to make small changes and you need to, make more and more small changes and grow that over time, because these small things that you do are going to eventually build up through consistency into real change, especially once you do them in routine. And as you actually build a schedule out of them, you'll realize that that consistency is what brings you success. So once I started doing these 7 habits, I saw my life change, specifically in the Islamic realm, but really this is for your, every realm of your life, even in this dunya. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not perfect, right? I still struggle with doing these 7 things. They're very basic and simple, which is why I chose them, right? Nothing drastic, just these very easy habits. But still, right? I'm not going to be 100% consistent. No one's going to be, but I still try and do these things. And I would highly recommend you to just pick up at least one of these things and do them, because honestly, they're really easy. So the first thing, and one of the things that I like so much, is to read Hadith daily. It's crazy how much knowledge you can get from reading Hadiths. And the reason why I love it so much is because it's so simple, right? Now, when you look at something like the Quran, for example, reading Quran verses, you might ask, well, why would you read Hadith when Quran is, kind of a higher tier of knowledge? Even though, Hadith is still useful, Quran is like the top tier knowledge, right? Sent down by Allah, Himself, Kalam Allah. Now, the thing is, with Quran, there's so much layers to the meaning. So you might have one, the surface layer meaning of reading it, and then once you memorize a verse, you'll unlock a new level of meaning, and then once you read tafsirs on it and, really get into it, you'll unlock more levels. So it's kind of complex in that way. But Hadith, like, they're simple. You read it and you understand it, right? It's easy, and maybe you'll read commentaries as well, but that's why I love Hadith, because they're so simple. And you realize you learn so much just from reading these simple Hadiths. So all you have to do is just read maybe 1, 2, or to 5 Hadiths a day, and you'll learn so much. The second habit, and I also love this one a lot, is daily dhikr. Now, you've probably heard a lot of people tell you to do this, right? Say Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, these things. But I just want to point out 2 dhikrs that I really love, which are Alhamdulillah and Astaghfirullah. And the reason why I love these is because they kind of point out 2 of the most pivotal things in our religion. Maybe not most pivotal, but 2 very pivotal things, which is asking Allah for forgiveness and being grateful to Allah. If you do these 2 things, it's kind of like Allah's going to love you so much more, right? Because imagine how important these 2 things are: gratitude and asking for forgiveness. It addresses both the blessings in your life and your shortcomings. So this is, I don't even know how to explain it, but it just gives you so many benefits, and it makes you feel, kind of at peace, knowing that you already thanked Allah for everything He gave you, and you have asked for forgiveness from Allah for your shortcomings. So what I would recommend is choose a dhikr target. Now again, you don't have to say Alhamdulillah, Astaghfirullah if you like other dhikrs, like maybe La ilaha illallah, whatever you want to say. These are just things that I like to say. But choose a dhikr target, maybe say 10 a day, 20 a day. For me, it's 100 a day of each Alhamdulillah and Astaghfirullah. It's very easy, actually, right? Especially once you get into the habit of doing it, and you'll realize that a lot of your life will change just from these very small things. The third thing is to clean up your space. And that means your room, maybe yourself. But I don't know if you've ever heard this hadith. It's actually very interesting, which is, the first part of it at least, is that cleanliness is 1/2 of faith. Now, of course, this hadith is not talking about just like physical cleanliness. It's also talking about like purifying yourself and all those things. But without a doubt, it's mentioning or referring to physical cleanliness, which is very interesting because, we make wudu 5 times a day, or at least, whatever we need to. And, cleanliness is a very important thing in Islam. So you probably don't understand the importance of doing something as simple as just making your bed, right? Or cleaning up your room, organizing your space. A lot of this stuff sounds very useless and like whatever, who cares? But honestly, it kind of grounds you. Now, one thing you'll notice about depressed people is that they're always in messy spaces, right? They're in messy rooms. The room is messy. It's not organized. They don't make their bed. And so the opposite of that is, of course, being clean. And that's why Islam stresses it so much, right? It's one half of faith is being clean, being organized, because it kind of grounds you in a way. Fourth thing is focusing in prayer. So in my opinion, a lot of people go about this the wrong way. They think that they should, expect for themselves to focus in prayer, every single prayer 24/7. But to be honest, that's never going to happen because, we're human, right? We're going to get constant distractions. Instead, the mindset that I want to instill into you is pick a goal, like a target amount that you want to focus for in prayer, and at the very least, hit that goal. So for example, from the start of the prayer to the first ruku' of the first rak'ah, right? Say, in this section of whatever prayer, I'm going to focus really hard and make sure that I'm going to focus 100% during this section. It's a very small section, right? Anyone can do it. So make it easy on yourself and really, really focus on focusing during this section. And of course, throughout that whole prayer, you should try focusing, the best you can, but really try and stress it specifically on that section. The reason why is because you're at a low level, right? So you're not going to be able to focus throughout the whole prayer. You're probably only going to be able to focus for a couple of seconds or like 1 minute. So don't expect to, be at this high level. Give yourself, space. Give yourself room to improve. And over time, of course, improve and focus for more time than the prayer. So the fifth thing is to watch more beneficial content. And honestly, this is one of the most simplest and easiest ways to increase your iman and become a better Muslim. Or honestly, in any realm of success, is to, instead of watching entertainment videos or videos on, whatever things that really don't matter, focus on, watching more videos that are actually beneficial. Maybe watching Islamic lectures. Because what happens is you're naturally just going to start doing more good stuff just from watching this video. So what a lot of people do, for example, is they'll be eating lunch or dinner or whatever, and they'll have a video on just because, I guess that's what we do nowadays. But instead of that video just being a random entertainment video, watch an Islamic lecture or watch some kind of beneficial video, something about knowledge that will, increase your knowledge, just anything, right? And that's going to make you a better Muslim. Or, if, you don't want to talk in the realm of religion, maybe if you want to get better at working out, right? Watch something about exercise and, this type of beneficial knowledge in whatever realm. And that's going to translate naturally into whatever you want to get better at. The sixth thing is to learn easy du'as. And a website that I really like and that I use to learn a lot of easy du'as is called Islam Estic. So it's like ISLAMESTIC. So I'll probably link it, but it's actually a good website, right? It's very simple, very basic. I like it because it gives you a lot of beneficial du'as. And specifically, like morning du'as, before bed du'as, things like that. And I would recommend you learn some of these really basic and simple, du'as. Like, for example, do you know the du'a that you're supposed to read when you wake up? For a lot of you, unfortunately, it's not. But if you don't know it, it's very simple, and you should go out and learn it because it's just going to give you so much, benefit in your life. Like, imagine if you did that every single day, the amount of benefits you're going to get just easily from learning this easy dua. Now, the last thing is to implement more sunnahs into your life. This is actually a lot easier than it sounds because, a lot of the hard part is just gaining the knowledge of knowing what that sunnah is. Well, once you know it, and, the way you do this is by reading hadiths, like the first point I mentioned. But once you know a sunnah, it's as easy as just doing it, right? So, for example, it's sunnah to just eat with your hands. So you could do, it's as simple as just eating with your hands, right? Or it's sunnah to drink milk, actually. Or it's sunnah to, walk outside the house with the left foot and walk inside the house with the right foot and say a dua. So once you learn these things, you'll get beneficial rewards just for, the simplest things, the easiest things that you don't even have to think about. But anyway, these are just 7 very easy, very simple things that you could do. I hope you took something away from this, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.